Hello, dear friends. It's really good to talk to you again. Because of the situation in the world, in the universe, we had to take a break, and unfortunately, we couldn't meet with one another. And all those who are joining us for the first time, I'm very happy to greet you and to welcome you. And those of you who have been here before, I'm delighted to be with you again. I must say a word or two about the corona. The corona is a disease, it's a plague, it's something which is afflicting all of mankind, and people have to work together in order to fight it, in order to overcome. That means to follow the rules and regulations as directed to us by the government in every nation according to its own languages and rules. It's a difficult time for people. Something which is unknown is always more dangerous than that which is known, because what you know you can confront to the best of your ability. But when you don't know it, no matter how capable you are, you don't know how to confront it. And so the plague is an unknown curse which is afflicting mankind. And at the end of the day, it's really irrelevant to know where it came and how it started. What is relevant is how we overcome it. And we have to put all our heads and intentions together so that we can work as a united humanity, one caring for the other, in order to bring about a solution to this grave danger afflicting all mankind. I wish you good health, and I wish you strength to persevere, and good fortune in all that you undertake. God be with you. And now I want to turn back to my story. My story has a purpose. I'm really not here to discuss what happened to me per se. The fact of the matter is, for all my life, almost 80 years since it happened, I avoided speaking about myself as much as possible. Every once in a while, I maybe wrote an article which I already forgot about, or I made a statement which I already put back in the back of my mind. But the fact is, I did not refer to myself as a Holocaust survivor, as one who suffered. Many people, in fact, are surprised to hear that I am a Holocaust survivor, because I never speak about it. What forced me to do this is to suddenly come out and speak about myself, is the rise of anti-Semitism in the world. This is something which is a sign of a plague, a disease which afflicts all mankind. Whenever anti-Semitism goes up, mankind goes down. Whenever anti-Semitism is tolerated, at the end, people don't tolerate each other. Whenever anti-Semitism is allowed to prevail, civilization goes under. And that is a fact. You can make a graph and see how it worked in the past, and it will be working today too. So when we fight against anti-Semitism, it's not only a matter of protecting the Jews, but it's also protecting the dignity and the vision of mankind itself. All evil is evil, but anti-Semitism is a particular evil because it's pernicious. It seems to be never to disappear. And we don't want to go into the causes of it. We want to go into the effects. What are the results? And the results are bad for everybody. And worst of all, it is for the Jewish people. So I plead with you, let us unite together. Let us be united against anti-Semitism. In unity there's strength, and together we can prevail. And now to my story. I left off last time, I believe we spoke about the freeing of the brothers of my Aunt Zelda. She had 3 brothers. One was called Iser, he was the oldest. David, he was the second one, and Rachmiel, he was the third one. They were all taken after the extermination of the people of the Jewish people of Jettel to the nearby town Navaridok, and they were there incarcerated and put into some kind of a process of war, slave work. The partisans sent delegations and redeemed them from saved them, took them out together with other people from that prison and brought them into the forest. They joined us, and that was a great delight. That made our family the largest unit in the forest among the Jewish people. We had my uncle Shlomo, his wife Zelda, plus 4 children, their son Sheil, my older sister Rive, my younger sister Mary, and myself. And then we had my Aunt Zelda's sister Liebe, her husband Zadel, my uncle Shlomo I mentioned, and then 3 brothers. We had here 5 adults, male adults, fighting people actually. My aunt and her sister, 2 adult women, 7 adult people plus 4 children. And then among the partisans, there were all other people who also were our relatives. We had a cousin, my father's a cousin. One of them was Avremel, the other one was Chaim. Chaim had his wife and 2 children, so we already have in here another unit of 5 people, and that's already 16 people from one family, the Rozwaskis. Although Avremel and Chaim, they were called Chemerinsky because they were related to through the mother. So we constituted this group of people plus some other distant cousins that we had, and it was really something amazing. However, in the forest, we can say it was each man for himself, and everybody tried to do whatever he could in order to survive. Our family unit was kept together. The 3 brothers went and joined the fighting partisans. Among them were many other young men who were joining up to fight. And Zadel was also with them. David and Zadel were former Polish soldiers, so they knew something about the handling of weapons. And they were active in the partisans. At that time, in the forest, the partisans began to carry out some military actions, mainly attacking some convoys of German soldiers, intercepting convoys of farmer produce that were being taken by horse and wagon from the farms into the city to pay tribute to the German army. And they would confiscate it and bring it to the forest for the people to have nourishment to eat. The partisans used this time also to gather and acquire weapons and ammunition to fight. Some they did by attacking the German garrisons, attacking German soldiers, and some they acquired by purchasing it from the farmers, which I already mentioned before. This enabled the partisans to establish a certain amount of fighting power and independence. However, the time was not so good for us because the German armies were progressing more and more, advancing deeper into Russia, and the mood in general was that we will not survive. Nobody actually thought we had a chance of surviving, because the news from the front was the Russian armies were retreating, the German armies were advancing all over Europe, and since the purpose of the German armies was to occupy and to, in the process, destroy and kill all the Jewish people wherever they could find them, the Jewish people actually had no hope of surviving. So what was our hope? The hope was for the partisans to defend themselves as long as possible, and also, I'm going to use a very contemporary, so to speak, incorrect expression, revenge. Revenge is a very strong motivation for survival as well as for living in general. And it's people felt that they're going to fight if they're going to die. And if they're going to die, they want to make sure that the life of the dear ones, or their wives, their children, their fathers, their mothers, who were just killed, brutally killed, was going to be avenged by killing those who killed them. And while we may think it is politically incorrect and theologically not acceptable, the fact remains vengeance is a human characteristic. And for some reason, that is really what law is all about. It's not order, and justice is to satisfy the needs of those who survived by bringing justice against those who perpetrated death and ravage against them. So the partisans were motivated by all these things to fight. And in the process of this motivation, they also died. In the process of fulfilling this motivation, they also died. So partisans were not only surviving, but they also perished in the process of searching a means of survival. We'll continue next time. Now we are in the forest, and we're beginning to talk about what follows in the next few years, in the winter, in the summer, in the fall, and in the spring, in good and bad weather, in hunger and in thirst, in cold and in heat, in fear and trepidation, as well as times of slight hope and joy in surviving. Every day was a miracle, every hour was a miracle. And thanks to many of the people around us, we were able to keep on living and at the end survive. And for me to tell you the story now. God bless you till next time. Remain well, keep a distance from one another, and most of all, be healthy. God bless you. Till next time.